Finally, a good Final Destination movie again after the crappy Destination. Hi guys, this is Josh with J Show Horror back again. Today I'm continuing my Final Destination review series with Final Destination 5, and I have reviewed all the Evil Dead movies and the rest of the Final Destination movies, so definitely check those out if you missed any of those reviews. But today let's talk about Final Destination 5. Now, after the last movie, I was not a huge fan of Final Destination 4 at all. I actually hate that movie. That movie I pretend doesn't exist. So when this movie was coming out, I had low expectations, but I am happy to say that this movie kind of goes back to why this series is great. They actually give you a couple characters in this that I actually ended up caring about. So at least I got characters I care about again, unlike the last movie. And this movie is actually really suspenseful, but I also like that this movie has some funny moments as well. It doesn't take itself extremely too serious. I love the opening to this. I think it's one of the best openings of the series because it ends up being a bridge collapse. And it starts off like the same, this movie is basically the same formula again. Sam and all these other people in a work group, they're going on a retreat and they end up on a bridge. Talk about an amazing opening, like the bridge collapse. Like they start to get off the bus and all the wires and everything holding up the bridge, they start hitting people, and then the way people end up falling off the bridge and landing on like a sailboat, and it kills them that way. Another girl falls into the water, and then a car falls on top of her. But Sam does get up Molly across the bridge, and my favorite shot of the whole series is when Sam jumps off the bridge and you see the bridge start collapsing behind him, and he jumps onto the rail, and then you see like a really long shot of the entire bridge collapsing. Just amazing. The effects are way better this time around after the CGI crap fest of the last movie, and just really well done. Just a really good opening to set the mood, and it just kind of lets you know that you're getting a good Final Destination movie again. Now, the formula is exactly the same as it always is, but they add another element like they do in the first three movies, where if you go and you kill somebody, you switch their places and you get their time of how long they were going to live or be alive. I thought that was a really interesting concept. I really like that concept. And Tony Todd has a bigger part in this movie, which I really enjoy. I love Tony Todd. He's an amazing actor, and the fact that they gave this coroner a little more scenes than normal was awesome. Just love Tony Todd. Now, one of my favorite kills of the whole series is when Candace is going to do gymnastics, ends up going on the beam at first, and she starts doing her stunts on the beam, and a screw falls down from the AC unit above, and it lands right at the end of the beam. So you're like focusing on the screw. You keep wondering when or if Candace is going to get her foot stuck in the screw, or how is the screw going to lead to her death or anything. And she keeps barely missing it. It's very suspenseful, very good build-up. And then Candace ends up missing the screw, and does her trick and lands off the beam, and then she ends up going to bars next. Then a different girl goes onto the beam, so the screw's still there, and that girl ends up landing on the screw finally. After all this build-up, the AC unit's dripping water and almost landing on an exposed wire and everything. But this girl lands on the screw, falls off the beam, and hits the thing of chalk. The chalk flies in the air, and Candace is on the bars, and she gets all distracted with all the chalk, and she slips, and she lands and breaks her back. Her legs go over to her head, and just an amazing kill. One of my favorite kills of the series. Just so much great build-up, a lot of intense stuff leading into an awesome gore effect. So that whole scene is amazing. Love that gymnastics scenes. Definitely one of my top favorite kills of the series. Now, a lot of this movie is just the same old, just scenes leading into death scenes. Molly and Sam kind of figure out what's going on, so they try to save the other people, and it's kind of basically the same thing. kind of a typical Final Destination movie. They even give you that one guy who's like very kind of annoying, not to the point of a lot of the characters in Final Destination 4, but I am kind of rooting for him to die. Like dies at a massage parlor, gets his head crushed by a Buddha. His death was kind of entertaining. I even like that girl, Olivia. She has glasses. She's going to get LASIK eye surgery. She starts getting that laser in her eye and starts hitting her eye and then her hand. And she actually was holding on to a teddy bear and the eye popped off and it was on the floor, and it led to her like tripping over that eye and then falling out the window. And when she lands on the ground, her eye pops out and rolls, and you just see it. They're looking right at it with the camera, and then it gets ran over by a car. Just some fun stuff. Like by this point, you're just kind of wanting to see the deaths, because like some of the intensity is kind of out by the fifth movie. I still really enjoy this movie quite a bit. And then I do really like the climax of this, where Sam and Molly and Tom Cruise Jr., I can't think of his name. He looks just like Tom Cruise, like a young Tom Cruise. But he decides that while Molly was not going to die on the bridge, she was going to survive. He decides that he wants to kill Molly and get her time. So there's like a very intense, the climax is kind of really intense, where Tom Cruise Jr. is trying to kill Molly, but then he's got to kill Sam because Sam would be a witness. Just some really good stuff where like Tom Cruise is kind of helping death too at the same time. That was really kind of a different cool climax of the movie. And then we get the ending. This is what really sticks out for me in this installment, because it was really subtle throughout the movie, where you got 90s cars and all that, and you don't really realize that. It's very subtle. You even got somebody with a cell phone from like 99, 2000. You don't even really realize all that until the end. And I absolutely love the end of this. I thought it was a super great twist, because throughout the movie, Sam end up deciding to go to Paris for school or something for being a chef, and he decides to take Molly with him. So they end up on a plane. Now they're on this plane, and then you hear Alex from the first movie. He's yelling, and you see the footage of Alex and everybody going off on the aisle on the plane. So you're like, oh no, is this really the plane, Flight 180? And you see the ticket, and it's all revealed. And I gotta tell you, I was in complete shock. This was such an amazing twist ending that I did not see coming. So this whole movie was a prequel. You didn't even know it, and I was just like kind of blown away by this ending. This is kind of really what saves this movie even more, because it's kind of more of the same, but this ending definitely makes it stick out. Of course, Sam and Molly end up dying. It's Flight 180. I just thought that was an amazing ending to this movie and kind of to this series, because in the credits they actually kind of show footage from all 5 movies and everything. But yeah, overall I really enjoy Final Destination 5. It's not my favorite of the series, but I do have a lot of good fun with it, a lot of great kills. There's not too much new with it. It's the 5th movie in the series, and they always kind of follow the same formula. But the fact that this was a prequel and you didn't know, and it ended on Flight 180 and everything, amazing. So yeah, overall really good movie. I'm probably would give Final Destination 5 a 7.5 out of 10. It's not perfect in my eyes, but it's really it's fun. It's a good time. So I always enjoy this movie whenever I do rewatch it. So yeah, there's my thoughts on Final Destination 5. Now guys, go down in the comment section below and let me know how you guys feel about this movie. And I will probably be doing a ranking of the Final Destination movies really soon. And I probably will be ranking the openings of all these movies as well. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you love all things horror, and I will be seeing you guys really soon. I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.